All right, welcome back to the Run.down over here on the Strickland YouTube channel as well as Strickland Podcast Network. We are back after our first NBA Knicks game, second Knicks game. Knicks beat the Pistons with a score of, I just had this up too. I'm doing bad. 130 to 106. Knicks
There we
win
go.
in a blowout. I got Tyrese here with me. I got Jeff here with me. And yeah, I don't think we'll have anything really negative to say. So let's get into this. I mean, Knicks come out the gates. Um, they pretty much, as soon as it got to like the second quarter, they kind of really put their foot on the Pistons' necks and really didn't let up after that, which was very encouraging to see. And I think me and Tyrese talked about this on the last show about how like this would be a really good get right game for this team, or at least it should be. And lo and behold, the Knicks did not disappoint in their home opener. They came out, they put their foots on Detroit's neck. We had great games from Emmanuel Quickly, 27-7, the ball hog, as he is now donned on social media. We had RJ Barrett with a pretty good game, I believe 16 points. We had
18.
Obi, it was 18.
Yeah.
Let me check these boxes real quick so I can get the accurate numbers. Okay, yep. We had RJ with 18, Brunson with 17, Obi with 16 off the bench, looking very confident with those threes. And had some nice passes too. I will say that 3 assists. So like very good stuff from all of our young guys. Different lineups from Thibs, which we'll get into. So a lot of positive things to get into. So I'll hand it over to Tyrese. Tyrese, where do you want to start things off?
I mean, I think we got to start with the ball hawk himself, the fucking ire of Knicks Twitter for whatever reason, because somehow year three we do not see this man as a point guard. Emmanuel Quickly, 8 of 14 from the field, 3 of 8 from three, only one free throw, but he made it. 27-7, second game of the season. Can we stop the bullshit, please? Thank you. This is such a fucking dumb trope that people have been on for like a good 2 years, 3 years now, where people are like, he's not a point guard, he doesn't make people better, he doesn't like pass and all this shit, he dribbles the air out the ball, and it's like he doesn't even do all that shit. Like, he's good moving the ball, he's efficient. Given his shot diet, it's so fucking crazy. He's still efficient. Like, the guy is a good player. I don't know why we have to make it seem like he's not, or he's some kind of bum who chucks a lot. It's like sometimes he'll hit shots, sometimes he'll miss shots. That's basketball, and everybody does that. So great game from him.
Including the
Nothing but
player
praise.
these guys truly adore.
Yeah, that's the most annoying part. Is like I don't even know who it was. Somebody tweeted a video of Shaden Sharp, who's awesome. Like he's so fun to watch. Or I mean, I hope he's awesome. He's just fun to watch. But these guys act like if Shaden Sharp was a Knick, they wouldn't just be shitting on him the same way they shit on all our other Knicks young guys. So like they can't have it both ways, you know? Like, how can you hate on all the Knicks players and then be like, oh, we just need to get like the right Knicks or the right young players? Like, it's infuriating. The Quickly discourse is always infuriating. He comes in the first 5 possessions, he runs the offense, doesn't take a single shot, and shoots once, and the timeline's blowing up with, oh, he's such a ball hog. Like, the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, I don't understand I don't get what these people are watching. I don't get how you can be a Knicks fan and have any brain whatsoever, look at the numbers and care so much about how Emmanuel Quickly profiles as a player and not care about the clear impact he has year after year. The Knicks played like a top 3 team in the NBA when Emmanuel Quickly was on the court last season.
Plus
And they played like
27 tonight.
and they played like a bottom 5 team in the NBA last season when he was on the bench. Like, that doesn't just happen by accident. He's not getting these super secret minutes that nobody else is getting. Like, if it was just, oh, he comes off the bench, so it's easy to have good impact numbers off the bench, everybody would have them. Every bench player's numbers would look like Emmanuel Quickly's. Guess what? They don't. The team performs The team lost its minutes with everybody except for like it won its minutes with Obi, it won its minutes with Burks, but I'm saying relative to quickly, it wasn't even close. This guy is a really good basketball player. Maybe he's not maybe he's definitely never going to be Chris Paul, but the team is better when he's on the court than when he's off the court, and I don't understand nitpicking a 23-year-old like that. Just let him play.
He could definitely be Chris Paul, bro. He can hoop. I don't care. We on that. Hall of Fame trajectory. Point guard Emmanuel quickly sounds good anyway.
I mean, like even the way he ended last season, how is that not encouraging enough for this fan base going into this season for them to be off the wagon off of like one game, the first game of the season? You know, guys finally getting into like some serious game action. He has a pretty rough go about it, in terms of, you know, the shots and whatnot. But like we all knew that he was going to bounce back. At least logical people knew he was going to bounce back, because it's like we've seen him come back from worse starts before. So it's like this was nothing, and it's against a team that, you know, he has a favorable matchup against. I really like the shot selection that he had tonight. Included a lot of mid-range jumpers, which, you know, we really don't get to see from him. So it's good that he's like adding that to his repertoire.
Can I cut in here for a second? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing. The point you just made is really good too, because me and Schwinn talked about this on the last pod. Other teams are starting to scout quickly, and we don't screen very high for him at all. Like if we screened closer to half court, this wouldn't be as big a problem because he would get a bit of a runway and be able to put pressure on defenses more. But because we screen closer to the 3-point line, it's getting harder for him to step in to pull up threes. It just is, because it's easier for the tail defender to recover. And so what defenses are doing is they're basically just saying, you know what, you're not Donovan Mitchell, you're not De'Aaron Fox, you're not going to be able to punish us at the rim relentlessly if we play big and drop coverage. So we're going to have all of our defenders stay home and on your shooters, and we're going to say, good luck, Emmanuel, quickly. Beat our big at the rim consistently. And you see it sometimes. You see him dance in the paint and kind of not really know what to do. You know, like he's like, oh, none of the kick-out options are available. We don't really have the most creative play selection. What do I do? Because I'm not going to attack, you know, even someone like Jalen Duren over and over again. He's just not built that way, even though he's improved at the rim. So him threatening from the mid-range and being more consistent the way he was tonight is actually really huge for the longevity of his game, because the second a big has to step out and start respecting that, all of a sudden that opens up shots at the rim. All of a sudden the help defenders have to be like, okay, we have to help off our guy now because he's going to get to the rim more. He's going to shoot from the mid-range more. And so I'm sorry to interrupt you. That was just a really good point you made. The shot.
No, I mean, for sure.
I definitely.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a great point to bring up, because one of my biggest things is watching these players' games progress to the point where like they have so many different options, where like if the 3-point is available, they got the mid-range. If the mid-range is available, they got the shot at the rim. So I love seeing the players progress like that and being able to see, you know, how much further their games progress and how much able they're to diversify their games. But yeah, I thought, I guess we can get into this too, because I thought this is what also helped IQ as well tonight, was playing with Brunson in the backcourt, and Thibs using that with the starters as well as the bench. He did it multiple times in the game. He first started out with having Brunson stay in with the bench and having him and IQ patrol the backcourt, and then a little further along in the game, he did IQ and Brunson with RJ, Randall, and Mitch, and I thought that was really great stuff. What you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think Tibbs' rotations and lineups so far have been like really promising. I especially do love like the Brunson IQ backcourt. I think a lot of us were like, that's the backcourt we want to see, because you have Quickly's ability to defend the POA, that you have superior playmaking, as well as Brunson being able to break down defenses and stuff like that. I think about it in the way of like supercharged Rose. So, like, you know, Rose and Quickly are going well together, but you know that Brunson is a better player than Rose and does more than Rose can. So having that ability to just, like, have that penetrator, also have that, like, release valve for Quickly on his drives is really promising. And Brunson also has somebody who could, like, play make with him in the backcourt, you know, can do stuff as a trailer. it's a very promising backcourt. Quickly covers up a lot of Brunson's weaknesses, especially in the POA. And I'm glad that Tibbs started to recognize that and has started to highlight that more with his lineup and rotations. In general, I feel like the last 2 games, his rotations have been very strong. And I'm hopeful that he starts to stagger a little bit more, but even still without the staggering, I feel confident in his rotations so far. So good on Tibbs.
And he even did that a little bit tonight, right? Like the first half, Cam coming off his really strong performance, Cam and Hartenstein were the first 2 off the bench, and RJ sat. And then in the second half, when Tibbs was like, okay, Quickly's got it going, Quickly's the first one off the bench, and he played with both, like you just said, with RJ and with Brunson. So, I mean, I know the bar is kind of low here, but that's much less robotic than we've ever seen Tibbs be. He's usually very structured and – okay, these 2 guys came off. Like I would have expected Cam and Hartenstein to be the first 2 off the bench in the third quarter as well, because that's just how he typically structures his rotations. The one thing I will say, and I just don't know if this is ever going to change, I just don't like how long he shifts his players. Like Quickly played 27 minutes tonight, and that's awesome, and I'll never complain about Quickly playing 27 minutes. But how did he play 27 minutes? He played 10 straight minutes in the first half, and then he played 17 straight minutes in the second half. That's just ludicrous. Like he's not even rotating. He's just, hey, you're playing well tonight. Go out there and run until your legs fall off. Like that's what he's doing. And like, yeah, it's cool that he likes Quickly. I'm glad he understands that Quickly is really good tonight. But to be actually like good at rotations, he has to actually rotate, like it can't just be like, oh, I subbed differently and then that was just it. And they played together for a few minutes and that was just it, because at the core of Thibodeau's strategy is still, okay, I've got my starting lineup and I've got my bench unit and that's it, and they run together. But I really like the point you just made, Tyrese, about how Quickly he covers for Brunson. Like obviously Brunson's amazing, but as good as Quickly was offensively tonight, I actually thought he was better defensively. He covered like 5 different Pistons well tonight. The only one who really gave him trouble was Jaden Ivey in the second half, who his quickness is going to give anyone trouble. But he was all over Bojan Bogdanovic, who was giving everyone else hell. Like Quickly was the one whose length was bothering Bojan. He covered Cade a little bit. Cade bullied him in the post once, but he did a fine job on Cade a few times. He had that block that the box scorekeeper didn't give him in the first half, but that was him digging down and making an off-ball block. He's a really good defender. And, like we talk about it all the time, so I feel like an asshole just saying it, but that's the thing about Quickly that's so frustrating. Like, they're the ones painting him in this box, putting him in this box as a Lou Williams type scorer.
Mm-hmm.
None of us who actually appreciate Quickly think that way about him. He's really good at everything that isn't scoring. He's been a league average scorer for his first 2 seasons. His true shooting's 55 and 53%. That's fine. But he's a good connector. He's a top-tier rebounder for a guard, and he's a really good, really switchable defender.
Triple-double watch on game 2 already.
Right. I don't understand why they want him so badly to only be good at scoring.
I think it's so weird because you would assume that you want somebody to flesh out all parts of their game, and Quickly has done it. But I think that sometimes Quickly struggles, and people will just hold that against him for the rest of his career. It's a weird dynamic where I feel Knicks Twitter chooses their favorites. They're like, these are the guys where they're bulletproof, and somehow Quickly doesn't have that same amount of rope with people. But it's he's won us a ton of games. He's our leading fourth quarter scorer, and he has been the last 2 seasons. It's so weird how Quickly gets put in this dynamic of you must be Lou Williams or you're not good. And it's what if he's Drew Holiday? What if he's Drew Holiday, are you gonna complain about him being Drew Holiday, or are you gonna complain about him being I don't want to say fucking Tony Allen, but think of defensive guard who can play well offensively. I don't know, but do you want him to just be you don't want to be like Marcus Smart, but he's not going to be fucking Lou Williams either. But like he's good at everything. If he's good at everything, just embrace that.
Yeah. I will never understand the people that want to put him in a box and keep him there, but let's get into ad read time before we head into some comments. So leave some questions, some comments. We will get to them after this ad read. NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball is back. So tip off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA moneyline bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Check this out. In addition to the usual bets, everyone can boost their winnings up to 100% with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, opt in, and place a stepped up same game parlay today. With payouts bigger than ever, DraftKings is where I go to bet on the NBA. Any matchup that you like, Jeff? I know you're
Like tonight or
tomorrow. Anything.
DraftKings matchup I like. I really liked the Celtics tonight. That was pretty sweet. I actually bet them and they won.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow, haven't really looked at anything, but let's do a quick 5-second rundown. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I like Miami, even though they've looked terrible tonight. I just think they're only -3 at home versus the Raptors, and it's pretty much a show me. Like you guys were saying about this game versus the Knicks, are the Heat really going to start 0-3 with all 3 games at home? The Raptors are solid, but I feel like the Heat gotta show up eventually. So that's a gun to my head after looking at it for 20 seconds. That's who I'm going with for tomorrow.
All right, so Miami money line and probably throw in like a Jimmy Butler steal and like a Tyler Hero 2 threes or whatnot, and there you go. You got yourself a little stepped up same game parlay. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TBPN. You see that in the corner of your screen right there. Make any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code TBPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes or show description for details. All right, let's get to some comments. So we got Nemo says Hartenstein didn't make me panic defending tonight. That was a relief. I think that has to do more. I think the issue or like the fear with Hartenstein in terms of defending that a lot of people had is like when we play against like maybe a floor spacer, which Detroit doesn't really have. So I don't think that's going to be a concern until we play a team that has a floor spacer at the 5. And I'm not sure how many other teams really have one that's truly a threat that would make us worry that much. But yeah, I thought Hartenstein was pretty good tonight. He's coming off that 40-minute freaking stretch run that he had the other day, which kind of goes to your point, Jeff, about like Dibs just like sticking with a guy and just like running him into the ground for a night. Like 40 minutes for Hartenstein is insane when you have Jericho Sims on your bench. But what do I know? I didn't watch the film 300 freaking times like Dibs did or whatever it is. But yeah, how'd you guys feel about Hartenstein tonight?
I thought he was fine. I liked the ball movement that he provided. I felt like he did a lot of heady plays. I felt like he was active, which is what you want to see. He hit that nice 3 above the break. When like I think Stu hit a 3, and then he hit a 3 right back, and I was like, that's a good answer. But yeah, like I just felt like he did what regular backup centers should do. Just like, keep the pace going, play within the offense, make everybody around you better. I felt like he was really active in the offensive glass as well. The fouls were wild, but like I think everybody expected that coming in. Like that his fouls are going to be wild, but like otherwise, yeah, no problems for him. I thought he was great.
I don't know if I can do him making the Duncan face every time he's called for a foul the whole season though. Like, dude's never committed a foul in his mind. I've never I've seen guys complain about calls. This is like he takes it to a whole nother level, man. He always looks so shocked when a foul is called on him.
Yeah.
So I'm with you guys though. I thought he was fine. He had that one back cut to Cam. I wish Cam and him were on the same page for that one because that was a nice pass by him.
Oh, Cam.
Yeah.
Oh, Cam.
Yeah, he's just the type of guy who it's gonna take some time. And like I know he had a really good game once. People are like, oh, it's gonna take some time. Like he played really well. But for his units to play well, it's just people are gonna have to learn to play off a guy like that because people like all these guys except for Cam have only been on the Knicks really in recent memory, and we've never had a center who could do anything. Like
Yeah.
that is the truth about Knicks centers. Like Taj is the closest thing we've had to a playmaker, which is bananas. Like Taj on the short roll is, he loves that little 15-footer, but that's about it. So yeah, I mean, Hartenstein, he sees the floor really well. He wants to throw back cuts. He wants people playing off him. I think quickly and Obi will pick it up the fastest, just
For
because
sure.
they're always moving. They have, they just process the game really well in general, especially Obi. So, but I think we saw what we saw from that bench unit tonight is really good. I was really pumped about what we saw from Rose. Like as long as he's a Nick, he's going to be a really integral part. Maybe later or some other time we can talk about how necessary having both him and Fournier is, but it's always good to see him play well regardless, like just because you don't want Quickly to have to do it alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, HGH must have came in for Rose because after last game, me and Tyrese were
I
like,
told you he had to re-up. He just had to re-up. He's good.
that last game, D Rose was looking old as hell, man. Like he looked old.
He gonna
But
be
tonight
straight
he looked
until
way
the
better.
injury. Until he eventually gets injured, because you know how it works. He gonna be straight. So we're not worried about that.
Yeah, he was good tonight. A lot of great threes. His threes they are so weird. They look like sort of like they're not it's not a quick release, but it's not like a super slow release either. But like he's always able to hit contested ones, which is like so weird to me. But yeah.
Yeah, it's been an amazing evolution for him. Like, given who he was when he came to the league and what type of player he was. I mean, I think he shot like below 60% his rookie year from the free throw line. That's what he was as a shooter. If it wasn't below 60, it was like around 60. But I think he was pretty just not good as a shooter overall. And for him to completely reinvent himself as a player it's just a really cool thing. It's really cool for the Knicks. It's just a really cool story because he was such a talent, and it's such a bummer that he just struggled with injuries for so long.
Real quick to update you that he shot 79% as a rookie for the free throw line.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's career 83%.
Was there an early year when he was really bad? I don't know why I just made that up.
79, 77, 86, 82.
All right. Well, sometimes I just talk out of my ass, I guess. I have no idea why I thought that.
We're gonna get some more comments after we talk about the rest of this game. Make sure y'all leave questions, comments, all that good stuff. We can get to it. Keep the discussion rolling. Obi had a good game today.
Yeah.
Obi, I mean, the three was looking good. It looked a little shaky at first. He started off with a moonshot of an air ball, but got going with the mid range jumper. Got a nice lob to Cam in transition. But yeah, I mean, he's been looking. I mean, even going back to preseason, he's been looking pretty good. Season opener aside, I guess the momentum from last season is carrying over, which is a good thing to see in terms of the shot, the energy, pace of play, all that good stuff. But like as soon as he got into the game, like the energy, like literally, like shifted. Like him and IQ came into the game, and it shifted completely. And that's when you saw the Knicks go on that second quarter run where they were able to pour on that. What was it, 42 points in that quarter? And it was just a credit to their energy. Hopefully, Thib sees these early season trends. and continues going with them. I know it's against the Pistons, who are most likely going to be in the Wemby sweepstakes, but nonetheless, they still provided a lot of energy and shifted like the tone of the game because it was still pretty. It wasn't like super close, but it was still pretty close. It was in striking distance for the Pistons, in terms of them being within like 10 or 12 points. But as soon as like those guys got in, the lead shot up to like 20 plus in a matter of no time. But yeah, how'd you guys feel about Obi tonight? And I guess going forward.
I thought he was great tonight. I like the energy he played with. Definitely that first shot had me a little shaken. You saw my
Of
tweets.
course, of
I don't
course.
want to talk about them.
Hardy Obi.
That's a fire bar. That's a bar. I don't care what
No,
y'all say.
it's not.
Tell me that isn't fire. Hating. Absolutely hating.
I'm happy to tell you that it's not fire.
Whatever.
Exactly, it's not.
That was
It's not.
funny. Anyway, but yeah, like he played well tonight. I thought he played really well, especially as a decision maker. I felt like all of his decisions were sound. I liked his activity on defense. The shot looked good, and it also wasn't just all out of transition. Like he definitely got his transition buckets. He's always going to do that, but he was able to do some stuff in the half court as well, which is like I really want to see him do that. And not just as a cutter, he was able to do it just straight up like face up jumpers. That's all you want to see from him. Just like that ability to take that jump shot, even one dribble in, his confidence with his dribbling as well, just his decision making in general. Just like everything was a positive for Open. I feel like he really, really like showed out tonight, which is really good to see.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That baseline jumper was actually his second shot, and like I know these guys are pros, and the whole like they've kind of almost tackled the mental side of it. So like us peasants, the way we think about things is probably not how they think about it. But still, if your first shot is like a brutal air ball and your second shot is a wide open shot, it's easy to like, you got to think it's easy to get in your head a little bit about it. And so it was nice to see him just splash that confidently. Yeah, he was really good. Team just plays better when he's out there. It's just, I know it's boring, but that's what he does. He moves, he makes quick decisions. And if he's going to shoot, if he's able to shoot 35% plus from three, he's a really good player. Especially since he's just not a killer on defense the way people thought he was going to be. Like it's crazy to think about, but like coming out of Dayton, he was supposed to be an Amari Stoudemire type, someone who was going to just destroy you on defense, but it didn't matter because he was going to be putting up 20 and 10, and that's just not really what he's been. He's a fine defender. He's got good length. He works his ass off. I think you have to credit Tibbs for that, who he's just a good player developer. I wish he trusted the players he developed more, but I think it's pretty undeniable that every young player has improved under Tibbs' watch. So it's just about enabling and trusting that improvement, and hopefully we'll get there this year. I mean, today was a good start, but yeah, it was really good.
It was a good start. Story of the Knicks season last year. It was a good start.
Jesus Christ, man. It's game 2.
I'm just saying, man.
Jesus. Here we go. Good feeling. He's just like, we might lose the next game. And it's all downhill from here.
Nah, I'm confident in the next game. I am. It's another game where the team should come out and, beat the shit out of their opponent.
You're just basketball emo, bro.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm not. I'm just, being cautious.
God.
Gotta be cautious, man.
God. A little optimism will not kill you, I promise.
I don't know, man. I don't know. RJ, I mean, we didn't really talk about RJ, but RJ had a really good game. 18, 3, and 4. Had some really tough and ones in the paint. The finishing looked pretty good today. Didn't hit a 3, but that's okay. But yeah, I thought he had a really good game. He didn't really force anything. He really let the game come to him, which is a complete opposite from the Memphis game where it looked like some shots he was just like he was just like trying to shoot them to see if they would go in just to get himself into rhythm or something, which was like, I hate when he does that because it's like, bro, you can like get natural buckets, like just like calm down, relax. But yeah, it was good to see him ease himself back into, you know, his regular rhythm. He looked in control tonight. And yeah, I mean, as someone that, you know, watched him go through the roller coaster that was last year, I knew that today was going to be the perfect get right game for him because it's the freaking Pistons of Detroit and they suck. And everyone should have a get right game against the Detroit Pistons. But how'd you guys feel about RJ tonight?
I felt like he did his country proud tonight, which he needed to do after that fucking stinker. Yeah, today was really good. I liked his finishing around the paint, especially. I felt like that was really promising. His ability to get to the line off and ones, I thought that was really good. You wish he hit threes, but I'm okay with that because like he shot 8 of 9 at the rim. When you shoot 8 of 9 at the rim, that's a good night for RJ Barrett. That's a good night for anybody in the association, but that's especially a good night for RJ Barrett because he's doing the thing that he needs to do, which is get to the rim, finish at the rim. So I'm happy to see him do that. I'm also happy to see him like flash that touch. He had it with like a floater. He had it with like both hands. Like that's the thing that you want to see with RJ Barrett, just that ambidextrous finishing in general, that ability to like get over his defender, and like you saw it in the half court, you saw it in seven transition, you saw it in fully transition. Like all those ways of finishing, all those angles, all that attempt to just like get those 2 feet into the paint, he was able to do it, and he was able to do it very, 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 very well, which is awesome to see.
I know it hurts you to say that.
There was a play in overtime yesterday where he got downhill and he kind of just like pinballed off his defender. Like it was just like a tiny little shoulder shrug, like a little bump. And he was just completely thrown off his path, and he flew up. I mean, you guys have seen it a million times in RJ's 3 years, but that is not the path to success for him. His big advantage is his size, so he has to like embrace the contact and not let the contact divert his path. And he did that way better tonight. Playing through contact, embracing the contact, even initiating the contact. He was really good at that. And it's not just because he finished, it's because he got the calls, like he forced those calls. And because in spite of the contact, the shots that he took were makeable, solid looks. And that's what you want to see from him. And then to go along with that, he had 4 assists.
Oh my gosh, the dishing tonight. Whew. Special stuff, man.
Keep it in your pants. Keep it in your pants.
Dude. All right.
You went,
so first he was too emo, now he's too happy. Can Sam do anything right for you, Tyrese? Jesus.
He's the damn
Yo, but like see if I mention his boy, then there's an issue.
Man, your eyes roll back. You were just like, oh, like
I can't be excited about RJ getting playmaking reps, man. Like
now you want to be excited, bro. This is crazy.
Yeah, because our young guy is getting playmaking reps, and he thrives in that, man.
You're right.
Nah, but I like the passing that he did today. There was this one pass to number 30. That was really sweet. That he looked like he just like threw it with like one hand with some flair and like found him wide open. But yeah, I like the passing that I saw from him tonight. Him getting playmaking reps, he should be able to have these opportunities more often. They shouldn't be something that like we see so far and few in between that we get excited at these rare moments that he gets the chance to do this type of stuff. But yeah, I really like the passing tonight.
One of the threes he missed was on it looked exactly like Brunson's relocation against Memphis in the right corner. And that's just like a small niche area of improvement that you really like to see, because when you think of RJ Barrett, you don't really think of like an off-ball killer, but those little touches to his game are just going to help him. One extra 3-pointer a game that he shoots in rhythm that's open, it's just going to help him. It's really good. So he didn't make the 3, obviously, but it was still nice to see.
Yeah. Let's get to this comment right here. Grimes got to start taking some roids for his foot because that backcourt open floor defense is shambolic. How do we feel about the defense so far in terms of the backcourt?
Evans doing the best he can. He has some fine. He has some fine possessions. He actually had really good hands tonight. He forced a couple steals, and he's really rarely out of position. He's just not really physically capable of being a consistently impactful defender. Brunson's kind of the same, but just like a better version, like someone who's not physically capable of consistently being a positive impact, but closer, because he's kind of got that like what's good center of gravity, I guess is what I'm looking for, where he doesn't get pushed around. And so even though he's short, he still like can guard up, and it's just not a tenable backcourt long term. If Grimes comes back and plays well and Fournier starts, that's bad. We can talk about it now, we can talk about it then, but it's indefensible. And I don't see how there's a single argument for Evan Fournier continuing to start, save the team like ripping off 15 wins and Tibbs just being like, okay, well, I can't do it. I can't change the starting lineup now, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like the backcourt. I've never liked the backcourt. I just kind of feel like he gives them too much. And I don't like teams whose best defense is their offense. And it feels like you're trying to do best defense in your offense with a team that's offense isn't really that good. I like the improvements they made, especially with Brunson and Hardenstein, but still, that offense isn't that good. So I don't want it to be a situation where, like, you have to outscore teams because I don't think this team has a lot of firepower like that because they don't have that bona fide star compared to another team. They have a lot of good, solid players, and anybody's capable of going off, but, like, random Nick of the night versus, like, certified all-star, all-NBA superstar kind of players, you don't want it to be a gun show or a gunfight in that caliber. So I do want to eventually see Grimes in the starting lineup. If anything, I'll take quickly right now, but that's likely not going to happen. But that defense does need to improve because you just can't have two and realistically three guys who like don't really present a lot on defense when they're not trying.
Nick of the night. That's a good segment. Nick of the night tonight was Emmanuel Quickly.
He was. It's funny because Tibbs. It's so obvious that Tibbs thinks Quickly is a better fit with the starting lineup.
Oh, for sure.
Like, so why not just start him? Like, what? Whatever. Everything that people say about Quickly kind of applies to Fournier. Like, he would be better off the bench, for the same reasons. Like, he could initiate the offense more off the bench. That's like the reason we got him. You know, he's Reggie Bullock, but he can create off the dribble. We saw it against Memphis. He had a ton. He had 3 or 4 really good, drives off the bounce. He would do that more playing with the bench if you replaced Grimes or Quickly with him in the starting lineup. I just don't get it.
We will never get it with this coach. Let's see what other comments we got. Okay, Nemo says, still somewhat suspicious about Randall's tendencies. He keeps stopping the ball, but at least just from time to time now.
The decision making has been a lot better from Randall, and I'm not saying this as Randall fan club vice president. I'm saying this is somebody who like can admit when he sucks. Like, I think the third quarter he's kind of sucked. I didn't think he took bad shots, but he missed them. But my thing was basically like he doesn't really stop the ball. He isn't playing that ISO ball, and you can tell like he's looking to push the ball and looking to find guys. Like, he was looking for RJ a good amount this game, and he was pushing the ball ahead. He was trying to run DHOs with Fournier and, like, throwing it back out to Brunson. Like,
I gotta say one thing. DHOs with Fournier, him and Fournier's 2-man game, I am sick and tired of it. I'm sorry.
Look, man, you can say all you want to, but that shit is effective. Like, it was effective last year. It's
so nasty.
It's nasty, but it's effective. Like, it's fucking Robitussin. Like, the shit works. You just hate to fucking take it.
Wasn't effective tonight.
See, there was a bar, Tyrese. There you go. That was better.
But yeah, I mean, Fournier shot decently tonight. He just could not hit 2-pointers and story the fucking team. But I think Randall played within himself tonight. He didn't have any turnovers. He had no assists. He had no turnovers either. That kind of shows you that kind of game that he had where we're just like, okay, I'm just gonna make this shot, make this quick decision, pass it to somebody else. There was one play in particular where I think Randall catches it on an outlet pass. The Pistons get back, and then instead of old Randall would probably try to force up something there, and instead he was just patient, pound, and then he looked for Jalen Brunson being his release valve, and he was like, all right, we can run something there. Brunson passes it back to him. He doesn't like the look. He passes it back to Brunson, and Brunson makes something happen. And I don't think the shot went in, but at least you can see the process there is a lot cleaner, and I feel like he trusts Brunson more than he trusts Kemba. So I feel like that burden of having to be the guy on offense, especially running the offense, is lessened, and I feel like he's benefiting because of that. So not the best line tonight in terms of stat line, but he still hit his threes. He took shots that were in the flow of the offense, and I had no problems with it so far.
Yeah, it's clear his decision making is better. I mean, it's hard. It can't be worse than last year, but meaningfully enough better that it's worth noting. I agree with everything Tyrese just said. I do think it's funny that the Knicks lost his minutes tonight, just because, I mean, that's just random, obviously, but it's still funny to see a 25-point win with Randall being -1. It's memories from last year. But yeah, it was every game last year. You'd look at the plus minuses, and the whole starting lineup was negative, and the whole bench was positive. It was every game. I really like that Randall started to leak out, because his rebounds, I feel like I've gone on this rant a few times recently. His rebounding is so unbelievably replaceable. Breen was oh, he's one of the best defensive rebounders in the league. All he does is bitches box outs. Anybody can do that. I'm still waiting this season on him to get one high leverage rebound. One. Just a single one where he has to do the dirty work and box out. Not one where the offense all retreats and he's just the one waiting there. Not one where Mitch clears the paint out and he's just the one waiting there. Those are the rebounds he gets. So if you're aware that Randall is mostly getting rebounds that anybody else can get, use his athleticism and size to your advantage. Get some easy buckets like you do with Obi. And he's done that 3 times now in the first 2 games. I love it. It's energy, it's pace, it's everything that we've supposedly been preaching coming to fruition. I really like it from him. I don't trade value up. A single bad shot tonight? Not that I can think of. When we got up 28 or something.
There was one in the first quarter that I tweeted about specifically.
Yeah, I don't know. When we got up, I don't remember that, but I
remember it. I always remember.
I'm saying obviously it happened.
Of course
there was one from the elbow when we were up 28 that just felt rushed. That just felt like he was just whatever, we're up 1 million, I'm gonna start shooting. But I thought he played a really solid process game for the most part. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing to complain about again for Randall through 2 games. I'll look a little bit at his defense when I rewatch the game, but it was fine in game 1, and I assume it was fine again tonight.
It was fine. Sadiq got a couple buckets on him, but yeah, I just felt like he played fine. It was pedestrian because this game was such a blowout early that it's hard to highlight defense off. It was just kind of everybody kind of contributed, and the day won by I think 25 plus. So there's really much to talk about in terms of individual performances, unless it's Emmanuel quickly or Obi Toppin's right.
Yeah.
Okay, for 20, Jeff with some drip on, repping the Strickland merch. Make sure y'all go cop that. We got the link in the description. Nemo says, are Jurgens, or is that supposed to be an RJ resurgence? He looks like he was prime Cam Reddish on a Euro step.
Prime Cam Reddish. Is that where we're at now?
I like that.
Prime Cam Reddish was versus Memphis. That was prime Cam Reddish.
He is amazing, though. I'm not saying as an impactful basketball player, but he just like does stuff that clearly no one on the Knicks can do. And he just kind of glides out there. It's really, I don't know. It's just, he makes it look so easy. And then other times he makes it look so hard. Like, it's just like when he simplifies it and just like all of his bad possessions tonight came between 5 and 20 feet. All of them. There wasn't a single three he took tonight, except for there was like at the end, you know, when he was just like, fuck it. But I think everyone was kind of like that. But when he dumps it down and simplifies it, it's just, I like that player way more than the Cam who thinks he's Paul George.
Yeah, I tweeted, don't dribble. He doesn't need to dribble. Go ahead, Tyrese.
No, I'm just like, you're right. Like, Maury Ball Cam is like Maury Ball Cam could get paid $20 million a year if he like embraced it.
God
the problem
bless the
is
team that decide to do that. But
I mean, like, we joke about it, but if Cam Reddish was like, I'm just going to be a hyper finisher in the paint and shoot three that like 36 plus. If he wanted to do that, he would literally be a 15-year vet. Like, the thing that separates him from being flash out of the league Josh Jackson and 15-year vet who makes easily $200 million in earnings is literally just mentality. If he just embraced being OG Anunoby instead of fucking Paul George, he would make so much money. Like, you would think that people would learn, like, okay, you know what? I'm not a star. It's okay. Just like, I could be a star in my role kind of guy. Like, Alex Caruso probably was going to be like, I'm going to be a star. And he's just like, all right, I just want to make the team. And at this point, Cam Reddish wants to make the team, but like, it's so weird to see this guy just like trying to make shit happen when he doesn't need to make shit happen. And it's just like, dude, you're long as fuck and have the ability to shoot the ball. Just do that. Literally just do that.
If I had wheels, I'd be a bike.
It must be kind of hard, though. Like, you say Caruso. You say to Cam, like, can you imagine being, like, his friend or his agent and just being like, yo, man, just be like Alex Caruso. Like, he would get so mad. He's so much, like, better at basketball than, like, at, like...
If he got mad, though, Jeff, I would be like, all right, Caruso was a high-leverage role player on a championship-winning team.
No, I'm not saying there's not logic behind it.
Oh, yeah, of course not. I'm just saying that's what would be my logic to him.
On a human level, Cam thinks he's really good. Like, you have to get to that level. He was a number one high school prospect. He was a top 15 pick in the NBA. Like, it's just really hard for a guy like that to be like, you know what? I'm a role player. You know,
he's gotten tricked, sadly.
The thing is, like, you look at his shot choice, man, he went 3 of 5 in the restricted area and didn't make a shot anywhere else. Like, the blueprint is there. The blueprint is literally there. And he just, like, when he embraces it, it's just like, oh my God, this is literally incredible.
And when he doesn't embrace certain old folks from Twitter that are like, you know, gassing his head up, saying that, you know, you can do everything you want in the world, and you know that shit like this gets to him.
You mean a night nurse?
Night nurse and his buddies.
Oh man.
But yeah, like, he's gotten tricked this whole time. It's like, you know, all that hype from high school, you know, carried over because, you know, everyone wants to share that clip of Anthony Edwards, you know, praising at his feet, calling him God or whatever, you know, that got into his head. So, you know, he thinks, you know, he's still that guy, but, you know, reality hits you hard in the NBA. I hope it's finally hitting him, but, you know, we have nights like tonight that came after nights like the other night that happened every single week in Cam Reddish's NBA career. This is a constant thing. Tyrese, do you want to tell the folks how you got tricked once again by Mr. Reddish?
I thought, once again, relax. Whoa. I
stretched it. I had to stretch it. I thought he
was gonna have a good game tonight. I said he was gonna go off like last game, but I was like, all right, he could probably put up like 10 on like 4 of 8, and he couldn't even do that for me today. So
maybe he did put your trust in him.
Do you guys think that on that bench unit that the Knicks should dabble in letting him initiate a little bit more? Because I kind of feel like they should.
No,
I don't want to see him dribble.
I don't want to see him pass.
I don't want to see him dribble. I'm sorry. I've seen him dribble too many times where he's like bumbling the ball or he's like bumping into someone. Just like, I don't need that.
unless he is shooting or going to the rim and finishing, he has
Yeah.
one dribble max. I give him one dribble, and you better pick that
One
shit
dribble,
up.
pick it up, go to the cup.
Like, if he takes 2 dribbles, I want him, like, automatically pulled. I want him to get the fucking, like,
Because
Looney Tunes hook. Just, like, no, I don't want that shit. Don't dribble unless you absolutely need to. Not even if you need to, like, avoid a travel. I don't give a fuck. You better, like, spin, jump, duck, hop, Mario jump. I don't care. Like, I don't want him dribbling.
yeah, him dribbling is not a pretty sight. I like he can't dribble.
There's only
He
one way
can't.
to learn, you know?
That's what the practice is for. And if it's not working over there, then stop trying into the game.
Man, unless you're not getting him a 2K. I wouldn't even let him dribble a 2K. Like, no.
My God.
No.
I guess I just feel like leveraging his size is better than spamming quickly high pick and rolls over and over again. Like
I will take the quickly high pick and roll. The quickly high pick and roll never failed me once. I would do that.
Man, never failed you once. Like, I'm as big a quickly fan as there is, but sometimes it's ugly basketball.
On the aggregate, it never failed me once.
It's not as ugly as it could get letting that guy dribble.
The 0 on his back is from the amount of dribbles he should be taking.
Jesus, man.
They put him in the camp. They're like, "What's my new number, coach? 0. Why? You don't take any dribbles." Like,
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back.
I don't know. I guess maybe I'm in the Cam hype now. You know?
Cam fam?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they've got me. I think they've got me in.
Jeff's Cam fam. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. He's so smooth.
He is smooth, man. I'm a believer.
He looks so smooth breaking balls.
I was watching I was watching that game yesterday. I was watching the season opener and I was just like, yo, people's really about to get tricked again. Like, yo, I was like, yo, people's really about to get tricked again and thinking this is gonna be something consistent.
So let's say Grimes comes back Monday. I asked you in this question on the pod.
Okay.
What do you, question for each of you guys. What do you guys do? What's your rotation? What's your long-term plan? Like, we know Tibbs loves Grimes. We know Grimes is in the rotation. So what's your plan? Is it trade Rose, trade Fournier, or is it actually just, all right, Cam, thanks for that first game, you're gone? That just seems like it can't be right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you asked like the two absolute worst people that have like the worst bias to answer this question.
Even with your bias, how is it better long term for the Knicks in any way to run Rose and or Fournier out there?
I'm not really advocating for them to like play. I'm an advocate for them to get traded no matter what. No matter if Cam showed us anything or not. Like, I wanted them gone anyways. So I don't think his play really like influences my decision on them, because like I already from jump wanted them gone. Yeah.
I think my thing has always been like, I didn't care about Cam because I'm like, they have 2 picks in this draft, and this draft has a bunch of dudes who are like 6'8". So like, my thing was always, if he plays well enough, you're probably not gonna re-sign him, and if he doesn't play well enough, then you're not gonna miss him. So like, because if he plays well, he's gonna get wing money, and wing money is always going to be exorbitant because of how rare good wings hit the market. So like, my thing was always, great, if he like plays well. I probably would have flipped him if he plays well. I'm just like, I'm not gonna pay this dude. And if he doesn't play well, I'm like, well, he hasn't played well his entire career. This is nothing new. I don't know. I'm not gonna harp on Cam not playing because I don't feel like Cam is going to, like, Cam has a theoretical skill set, but if he's not able to leverage that as much as he realistically should be, then I don't care much about his theoretical skill set, even if he does have length on the wing and the size on the wing that you would want.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I just don't see a short or a long-term art. Like, I like Fournier, but dude is a fucking
turnstile.
Red carpet on defense. Like, you put him in front of an offensive guy, and they're going by him. Cam's. I
Yeah.
mean, I like Cam with that. I like Cam with Quickly and with Grimes. Like the idea of Quickly, Grimes, and Cam together, that length with Obi and then sometimes Mitch, that's going to give other teams problems. And there's just if you accept that this team probably isn't going to win anything like super meaningful this season, then rehabilitating Cam either as a trade asset or for yourself, giving yourself a skill set that you don't really have outside of him, just has infinitely more value than, let's see if Evan Fournier can break his 3-point shooting record again. Like that's why he's in the game. Like we're not taking advantage of Fournier's skill set. We're not, using him as an initiator as much as we should in the starting lineup. Nobody thinks he should start. I don't know. I just don't see a good argument for Cam getting DNPs when Grimes comes back. I don't think it's for our benefit, short or long term.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like someone that like doesn't see the consistency with Cam. So I mean, I'm all for trading those guys anyways, but it was never gonna be to supplement Cam. Like if Cam gets like consistent minutes out of that, then albeit let it happen, I guess. But yeah, I'm not like gonna like push for it super hardcore just because I've seen what he is for like these past 2-3 years, and like people will say, he's been hurt or whatever, and like yeah, that's part of the problem. He's always hurt, so like of course he's never gonna get consistency as well. But yeah, I mean, people have heard my spiel on Cam. They've seen my tweets. I don't need to really keep beating a dead horse here with Cam Reddish. Tyrese, why are you making that face? You never heard that term before? Beat a dead horse? Come on.
No, your spiel.
Oh, my spiel? You never heard spiel before?
I've heard of spiel. I'm just like, all right. Man is hating so much. He went to the 18th century with it. That's really hating. I appreciate that.
Nemo says you're his favorite Randall fan, so I don't know how you want to take that, Tyrese. Being someone's favorite Randall fan. I don't know if there's how many Randall fans are there to have a favorite?
Dozens of us. They're coming back now.
There are dozens of us.
Dozens, not even hundreds, dozens.
They're coming back slowly but surely. He's gonna win them back. Like it's like it's like your ex who like cheated on you, and he was like, "I'm gonna change, baby, I'm gonna change," and now he gotta like win him back. So he's like, doing the dishes and shit, and he's like, waking the kids up early and cooking breakfast. Like,
you gotta speaking from personal experience, Tyrese. What the hell?
I watched too much fucking TV, but like, yeah, like he gotta do the little things to win us back, and like he's doing it slowly but surely, and the hype he'll be back, he'll be fine, he'll be a productive player, and we'll move past 21, 22. We're gonna move off of it. He's gonna be here in a minute. We're all gonna be fine.
Saying this after 2 games like last year didn't happen, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but the second game of last year, he was basura.
Yeah, so that should have let folks know what type of time he was on.
I really want you
to But yeah, I mean, I am good on saying anything about that man for at least 45 games. At least
45
then,
games.
45 games. Is that when the trade deadline is? When's the trade deadline? That's got to be around like the trade deadline.
More like 50, 55 games.
Yeah. I just increased it.
So yeah, keep pumping up that trade value, Sir 30. Keep pumping it up.
They're just never trading him, right? Like
at this point, I am just living in another world like some other people like to do on the internet. So I'll live in that world where he gets traded after 45 or so games because
in the metaverse, bro.
Man, there's some people that see themselves as the main character online. So
I just see myself
just a few people, huh?
Yeah, just a few people. Just a few people on Knicks Twitter that see themselves as the main character. I'm gonna live in that world for a little bit, and in that world, Julius Randle gets traded in 45 games. So I'm gonna live in that world like those people do, because that's the fun thing to do.
Wouldn't you be thrilled if he just like proved you wrong though? Like,
I mean, if it leads to like team success, then albeit whatever.
He'll stop from hating to like golf clapping.
Nah, I'll just like give a
You
little,
gonna meme look at the corner.
just give a little nod, just like okay.
A little golf clap.
Not even a golf clap. I'll just give a little nod, like okay. I won't even give a nod. I'll just give a little breathe, a little sigh through the nose.
So he's gonna draw like a 40-point triple double, and you're just gonna be like, he did his thing.
I'll be like, okay.
I feel like I'd be much happier with Julius's season if like he never had a big game like that. Not like I'd be happy if he played worse, but it would tell me that he sort of accepted the role we've kind of want from him, you know? Like if he has like those crazy high usage games, whether successful or unsuccessful, that would tell holy shit, Dame is insane. Good lord. He's got 30 points in the first half. He just hit an insane step back three. Sorry. That would tell me
the league pass soon.
That would tell me that he's kind of reverted to the player that he was last season, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know that's not really a recipe for team success, like Sam was saying. So I feel like one of the things that me and Tyrese were talking about earlier that's been so nice about Julius is he hasn't really even given himself a chance to have like a crazy like 21-9-8 game through 2 games, you know, because he's not holding the ball. He's not determining the outcome of an ungodly amount of possessions like he used to. He's moving the ball. He's playing within the team. It's been really nice to see, in my opinion.
It's been all right. It's been all right. Let's get to some last comments before we head out of here. Virgil X says Dibs did a good job, ? So far he's been okay, I guess. Like for him the bar is in hell, literally. It's literally in hell. He like literally just has to be somewhat competent and like play lineups that like work together. Today he tried some things with Brunson IQ backcourts. He used that backcourt with both the starters and the bench units, which was very interesting to see. So I say he did pretty okay. We are playing a team that's in the Wemby sweepstakes, so it's not much to really like, beat the brakes off of them. So glad everyone was on the same page. We'll see what Thibs is really about when we start playing like teams that are like in our range, as well as some teams that are a little bit a step ahead of us, which will be in the coming weeks as we face teams like Milwaukee and the Cleveland Cavaliers, all those teams that are going to be like actual playoff teams. We'll see how that looks.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Obi's minute ceiling in any game Randall plays is 18, it's really hard for Tibbs to do a good job because, like, you're saying that I just refuse to play one of my 6 best players more than a third of the game or whatever, or that math is bad. Whatever.
Six best?
What?
6 best? You think Obi's one of the 6 best players on the team?
Who are the 6 best?
Quickly, Brunson. I'm not in order. Brunson, Quickly, RJ, Mitch. Randall, obviously. Sure.
Randall.
I don't think it's crazy to have Obi as the 6. Who am I missing? Maybe Hardenstein?
Hardenstein. I would probably take Hardenstein over him too.
That's racist.
Well, okay.
That's racist.
Listen.
That's racist. Anyways, Obi
Grimes
ahead
too.
of Hartenstein.
Grimes too.
Okay.
Oh, Grimes. Okay, I can see. No, I don't know. They're close. They're
They're like 6A, 6B.
Right, they're just different. It's really hard to compare them, honestly.
Yeah, because they offer too many. They offer 2 separate like worlds of.
They both light skin. How different can they be?
Here's the thing, Tyrese.
That's colorist. My God, are you trying to cover all the bases?
Here's the thing, Tyrese. We have no idea what Obi would look like if he would like what we're basing Obi off of is in just about the worst set of circumstances imaginable for a player. Like he's making whatever is like a mediocre food. He's making like Arby's curly fries out of dog shit, like and that's pretty impressive in my opinion. Was that Was that a fine mediocre food? I couldn't do it much better. I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
Arby's is like
Arby's is-
bottom of the
yeah.
barrel fast
Yeah,
food.
but their
So
curly
yeah,
fries are probably the best thing they have.
probably
I
yeah,
haven't had
probably
Arby's in
yeah,
10 years. So
yeah. I'd say their curly fries are
Yeah,
top
their
tier.
curly fries are up there. Yeah, top tier.
But yeah, making them out of dog shit. Congrats to Obi for doing that. But yeah, I mean, pretty much Obi, like a lot of our young players, they have been put in the situation, the worst type of situation they could possibly be put into. Like I always say this, but like
Except
imagine,
Grimes.
except for Grimes. But I
Yeah.
always said this, but imagine this team with a coach like Ty Lue. I always say this because he is probably one of the more creative, if not the most creative coach in the league when it comes to different types of lineups. I mean, last night I saw the Clippers run out a lineup with like Batum at like basically the 5. Basically, like there was no 5 out there for them. It was like Batum, Terrence Mann, Covington, Paul George, and like John Wall or something like that. Like they run funky lineups like that all the time. Like, bro, I die to see the Knicks do some things like that, man. But I
Even
probably literally
Darvin
have
Ham.
to.
I mean, Darvin Ham was countering with LeBron at the center and 4 guards.
Yeah, like
And this is his second ever game. They were running sets that like blow the Knicks sets out of the water. They've had like 10 practices. I am really impressed by that guy so far. Obviously, there's only so much you can do when Russell Westbrook's on your team. He could genuinely be like one of the most detrimental players in NBA history, given how much he plays and like the usage he carries. He's so unbelievably harmful to this team. It's crazy. Every minute he spends on the court, it's just they have no chance at all.
It is so bad for them. Man, I wonder what Darvin Ham would do with our young guys.
And you know what? It's not just our young guys. Like, Sam, we have said this a million times. You don't even like Randall. But maybe Randall would have been better if he played with Obi.
Oh,
like maybe Obi would help.
Obi makes everything better, man. He can make like dog shit look like so beautiful.
Something better than Arby's curly fries, you know?
Yeah.
Like
make it like a supermodel.
Like a Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Make it look like a supermodel. That's what he do. But yeah. Yeah, Obi would definitely, you know, make Randall look way better because, you know, all that quick motion and stuff like that, the passing. I mean, I could just go on and on, but
it is funny that Tibbs
is
was
gonna
like,
say something
Tibbs was like, okay, Randall. he was like, okay, Randall, we've had enough of you playing like Luka. What if you just like played like Obi, you know? And instead of like playing Obi more, they're just like, come on, Randall, you can just do your best Obi impression, and we'll take that.
Yeah. Should we get to some last couple comments before we head out of here? So we got Ace Bouchard says Randall is such a Ross from Friends. Can't be trusted.
Who the fuck watches Friends?
I don't, so I didn't get that reference.
That show sucks.
I definitely have.
Don't get me started on fucking Friends. That show is garbage.
Jeff, have you watched Friends?
I mean, how do I answer that? I've seen every episode, but I've got, you know, I didn't actually like it. I've just, you know.
Oh,
okay. It's not good.
No, I didn't. I sound lame saying that. Like, oh, I watched every episode. I didn't like it. But, you know,
we watched for Jennifer Aniston.
Well, yeah, she's great. No, I dated a girl who was really into it. And, you know,
so you just like
the old rewatch, you know.
Okay.
I did that for Family Matters. I don't blame you.
Oh my God, yo, Family Matters got some of the corniest like. It's such a corny show. Oh my God, my parents love it though.
What show?
Family Matters. It's so corny, like the music cues and like the stills on the faces and shit when like shit gets dramatic. Claudio saying what up to us. What up?
I was dealing with him a few days ago. He's the nicest guy, man. Guy, like I sent him like we got. I'm not gonna say we got into it. I'm gonna say I was an asshole. And like I said something really stupid to him on the timeline, and I was like really drunk and like just being an idiot. And the next day I saw my messages and I was like, man, if I was this guy and I'd never met me, I would never talk to me ever again. And he was just like, no big deal, man. You're good. And like he's always been super nice to me. Really nice guy. Thanks for checking in, Andrew.
You were belligerently drunk on the timeline?
I'm pretty sure like Frank wasn't playing, and I was taking a shot for every time that made me mad or something. You know, like.
Oh my gosh, yo. Doing that with like IQ and Obi last year, bro, would have been plastered every night. Would have been
But doing that
plastered.
with Grimes before he got everybody got hurt, or like doing that with Kemba had a
Oh.
fuck up. Oh, I don't
Plastered.
drink, but like
I
shit.
don't either, but my God, liver would be crying.
Yeah, me neither. Don't watch Friends either. You know, like I'm. I actually don't really drink anymore. But.
Nemo says 2 pump ups. Oh, so Dallas has a new show on the Strickland YouTube channel. Check that out. We got 3 episodes that have been uploaded. It's called Dallas's Palace of Analysis. Some rhyming there. So, check that out. And I think that's gonna be the last comment we get up to. As you know, we've been rolling for more than an hour. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. Shout out to everyone that left a comment. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. We are close to 400 subs, so make sure y'all run up that subscribe button. Share this with a Knicks fan if they fuck with the Knicks and they want to tap into some new Knicks content. And we will be back. Our next game is, I'm not even sure when our next game is.
Monday.
It's Monday, so we got a pretty decent break. Saturday, Sunday off.
Against the Magic.
Against the Magic at home. Part of this 3-game homestand. Hopefully the Knicks can take care of business at home. That's definitely something that we, want to be different from last year, I think. Because last year there were some home games. There were some home stands where we made a fool of ourselves. And I remember them all too well. But we will be back on Monday after the Magic game. Shout out to everyone that tuned in. Make sure y'all tune in on Monday as well. Around the same time. And peace. Enjoy your weekend.